If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice a 16-year-old boy who got his first job?
Not for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
Or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity, not to make friends, but just to get something to eat? Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hungered in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
I know that a lot of times, Mom, it might not seem like I'm listening to you, but I am. I hear you. And what you say really does matter to me.
I mean, let's be honest. No kid likes rules, but I get why we have them. I hear you, and I know it's because you care.
For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Sponsored by DHHS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Live from the 93.7 The Ticket studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Lloyds In Lincoln, with former Syracuse Orange and Long Beach State basketball star Ramel Lloyd Sr. and current Nebraska basketball athlete Ramel Lloyd Jr. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Ramel Sr. and Ramel Jr.
All right, welcome into Lloyds in Lincoln. I am Harrison Arndt on the ones and twos. We got Ramel Lloyd Sr., as always, and Ramel Lloyd Jr. streaming in today. Been pretty busy traveling, so plenty of things to talk about. And again, we're going all the way up until 12 o'clock. Followed after us will be The Breeze with Haas and DP. So again, if you guys want to join the show, Sartor Heyman text line 402-464-5685. And we're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo channel 951. But obviously plenty of things to get into. Ramel Lloyd Jr. had a trip in Spain. Still traveling, but Ramel, I'll throw it to you. Ramel Lloyd Sr., where do you want to start?
Yeah. Well, happy Sunday. You know, always happy to be on our show. Hey, I got the computer in front of me. I see my guy. I haven't seen him in about 3 weeks or so. So, hey, what's going on, co-worker? Happy to see you. Happy to see you checking in.
Too.
Yeah, last week we, I guess we put a recording on last week with you traveling. The week before that, I was here by myself in the studio. I think me and Harrison did our thing. So I was happy to have you back, man. We've been over here holding it down on Sundays. I'm telling you, like it's like super empty in the studio. Everybody's traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the boss man DP at this weekend?
I don't. My best guess is
we don't even know anymore. We don't even know who's here. It's just always me and Harrison. DP's probably in UFC.
Yeah, I think it's in Utah. Let me double check with the next one.
Maybe Utah. We'll see. I mean, but
I was watching UFC last night.
Yeah, well, if you was watching it last night, most likely the boss man DP is there.
Yeah, we'll find out.
It might have been
Busy.
Yeah.
Utah? Was it Utah, Mel?
I don't know. It might have been Arizona. I don't know.
Might be Arizona. So that brings us up to current topic now. Obviously, you've been gone. You've been traveling with the team. You've been doing some personal traveling. Put us up to speed. How was your trip, man? How was your trip? I haven't seen you since the trip. So put me up to speed too, along with our guests.
Yeah, the trip was super fun. It was a great experience. Obviously, being overseas for my second time, but technically my first as an older person, because when I was younger, I went overseas, but that was the only time. So just being there with the team and just bonding and getting a couple games in, it was super. It was a great experience.
Yeah, how was the food? I know you was looking forward to tasting some different foods, and
Yeah. I'll probably say my favorite was the paella. Paella was pretty good.
What's that?
It's like a kind of like a sticky rice with like some seafoods in it. It's kind of different how they make it. It's almost like a Cajun rice, but they make it a little bit different over there.
That sounds like right up your alley. Has some
Yeah,
has some
so it's
seafood
right
in it.
up my
What
alley.
kind of seafood? What was in it? What kind of seafood was in it? What was it? What they had?
It was like shrimp, like some scallops maybe. The rice was really good though. You would like the rice. If they take out the seafood, you would like the rice.
Yeah, I'm allergic to seafood. Not seafood. I'm allergic to shellfish. So anything with a shell on it, it may taste good, but you're gonna have to rush me to the hospital after. So just so you know, Harris, just in case you bring us some breakfast one day.
Yeah, I ain't bringing shellfish for breakfast.
No, I know, right? Don't really shellfish. That's all I'm saying. So that's pretty cool. How was the travel? How was the travel, Mel? You guys, why don't you just give us a viewpoint of what the travel looked like coming from Lincoln and going all the way to Spain and the trips that you had during Spain.
Yeah, so we took off pretty early in the morning, so we all got to the Hendricks at like 3. We all bused to Omaha for a flight, and then we went from Omaha to Charlotte first, and we had a little layover in Charlotte, like 6-7 hour layover in Charlotte, and then
That's not little. That's a big layover.
yeah, it wasn't fun, but we went from Charlotte to straight to Madrid. So once we got to Madrid, we were there for a couple of days, and then from Madrid, we drove from Madrid to Valencia. We drove from Madrid.
You meaning in a bus, like a bus?
Yeah, in a bus. We bused to Valencia from Madrid, and then from Valencia we took a train to Barcelona.
Oh, okay, that's it. That sounds like a great run, great experience. Which city was your favorite city during the tour? Did we lose it?
What was that? I cut out a little bit.
Okay, yeah. Which city was your favorite city during the tour?
I gotta say Barcelona.
I bet. Why is that? Why is that, Ramel?
Barcelona was pretty different. That's all I got to say about that topic.
Okay, all right, good. Well, you got a chance. You got a chance to, like you said, this trip. I think from looking in from the outside, it was more about camaraderie. Your teammates, getting to know new teammates. From what I remember you telling me, you guys really didn't touch a basketball until it was actually you just played those games. You didn't practice. You didn't do anything.
We did all the travel and all that. We didn't play until like the second day that we were on, like in Spain, or like kind of like third day ish. Like we got there during like a night almost, and then we had a day to ourselves, and then we played the next day. So we didn't touch a ball before any games, nothing like that. No practice. We would just go to the games and we would tap the hoop. Like our first game, I feel like everyone was like super sluggish and whatnot because it was like the travel and just not touching the ball for a couple of days was. We never do that. We're probably always the most prepared team ever. Like we do we over prepare sometimes. I feel like so for us to go from that to not doing anything, it was pretty tough.
Yeah, well, we're gonna get back to that. We're gonna touch on that again. I kind of wanted to. I was going off into the team being, having a team trip, camaraderie, building new relationships. You have new teammates on this trip, right? Combining with some of the old teammates. So just tell us a little bit about that. Who what did you learn something new about one of your new teammates that you didn't know before, or did someone's personality surprise you, or did you mesh with somebody that you just met who just got on the team? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I feel like we all got a lot closer, throughout the trip. A lot of the newer guys that we have, a couple of them, we had a lot of guys out, not playing, but just off the court, we all got to know each other a lot more. We got to hang out a whole lot. Like team dinners, we had no phones, so we had to sit there and talk to each other, look at each other in the face and whatnot.
That was strange.
Yeah, it was hard for me, especially me and my phone.
Yeah,
But
sure.
we all went out together, like as a whole team, whole group. So we definitely, it was definitely good for a team body and things like that.
Yeah, that's what I figured this trip was about. Just a little bit more you guys getting together and feeling. I've been on trips like this in my career, and even though it's a short period of time, Harrison, it's like you feel like you've been together for years. Like, when you do everything you together for like a week,
novelty experiences too.
It feel like you've been there for, like you've known this person for years, so that's always good. And coming back into the season, it's definitely going to help you guys out, throughout the season. So you did talk about a little bit about just not touching the ball and, that first game and things of that nature. So how is the competition? How is the competition? Was this your first time playing against older, experienced guys, and they play European ball? We always have that topic here on the show where we talk about the difference between European basketball and our youth growing up playing and their youth. So you got a chance to experience that a little bit firsthand. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was definitely an adjustment. The game is so different. How they play over there, just like the different style, kind of. The styles kind of didn't mesh well. I feel like it's, we were playing one way, they're playing the other way, but it was also very, very physical. They don't call fouls at all out there. It was very physical. It took us a minute to really match the physicality. I feel like during the second game, we kind of really matched it at a certain point, but it was pretty rough because they really don't call anything. And then they called everything on the other end for us. So if we touch anybody or do anything, it was a foul. But we're getting like hammered on the other end, and it's just nothing. So it was an adjustment for sure.
Yeah, a little hometown cooking. I mean, you can't expect to go across the water and think that they was going to call it fair.
Yeah, well, hey, they're just like, we're calling it the way you guys are going to get called. So we're
there,
doing you
there
a
you
favor.
go. You're getting ready for Big Ten Nebraska ball. That's what you call that.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part, So obviously, I haven't played a Big Ten game yet, obviously, because I redshirted. So I asked, some of my veteran teammates, it's like, is it this physical in the Big Ten? They said, not even close.
Not even close. Is that right? Who you asked that? Who answered that?
I asked CJ Wilshire. He said, this is way more physical. It's not even like a comparison. Like, I asked CJ, he told me that the Big Ten was nowhere near as physical. Like, when I say physical, like, obviously, Big Ten is obviously probably one of the most physical conferences in the country with the size and length. But they were just out there just running into dudes, full elbow, just. So it wasn't even physical. It was just blatant. Like,
it wasn't even basketball.
Right, it wasn't even basketball.
That's when I played overseas. I kind of felt that the difference was like off the ball.
Yes,
they almost let you do whatever you want to do, right?
Yes.
So you can like wrestle, punch each other, scrap. They don't really care about off the ball. So the physicality is more off the ball. Now, maybe when you got the ball, it's one-on-one or something going to the basket, maybe you get a little bit more traditional basketball calls. But off the ball or weak side,
no.
So that Warriors offense isn't working.
No, because they wouldn't be able to come off no screens. They'd be getting bear
like
hugged.
Steph Curry's just getting held in the corner.
Exactly. He won't even be able to run. That was a little bit of what my experience was,
even to the basket. I'm talking about dudes just getting hit straight across the arm. The whole gym heard it. Like, so getting hit so hard you couldn't even get a shot up. Like, you just put the ball down almost. No call. Like, it's crazy. Like, you know me, I get a little frustrated sometimes. I was getting mad.
I bet you what. How was the coaching staff adjusted that? Did they get on the refs, or they just kind of talk to you guys about adjusting, or what?
No, I mean, the coaching staff. I feel like the coaches understood that we were getting hit, but even to me, there was just preaching. They're like, well, no, they're not going to call it. If you keep going in there and trying to do the same thing, it's not gonna be a different result. Like,
Right.
So they were really preaching to me to get off 2 feet and pump fake and whatnot because I wasn't going to get a foul. So that's what they were just trying to help us adjust rather than give us an excuse.
Right. Well, yeah, funny you mentioned that because you said that you redshirted last year. Obviously, you haven't played a game in a game setting in a very long time. Even going back to your senior year in high school. How did you feel? How did you adjust to just getting some competition? It's getting your feet, getting your legs under you a little bit. Tell us about that experience for you.
Yeah, it was different. I never like the first game. I never really felt like that before. I was out there running. It didn't feel, what I'm saying? It didn't feel natural or like normal anymore. It felt like a different type of thing. So it took me a minute to really get into it. I was like gassed in the first 2 minutes, just running up and down the court. I didn't even touch the ball yet, and I was already I was already feeling it. So fighting through the fatigue and just all that other stuff, and also adjusting to the European game while not playing and all that. It was an adjustment, but all I can really do is I just said play as hard as possible, and I'll get my rhythm back, and things will come to me. So.
Yeah, definitely a lot of obstacles, but the good thing about this though is that it's August, all right? It's August, and that's the whole point of doing these things, having a chance to get these cobwebs out a little bit, having a chance to learn your teammates, having a chance to get your feel and your rhythm back in August, and that's outstanding. You guys still have to come back, and you still have to get back in the lab, and you still have to prepare for it. You still have another 2 months, right, for yourself and all your teammates, for you guys to continue to improve and get on the same page and things of that nature. So that's good stuff. These trips are very valuable, both on and off the court, I think.
Yeah, especially anytime you get them early, like you said, because the thing about the college basketball season is it's such a short schedule, so you got to hit the gates running right away. Especially with how the season the schedule kind of shakes out for Nebraska. There's some early ones in there that you definitely want to win. Last year we kind of had that, and then Creighton fell apart, unfortunately, which really didn't help Nebraska out. But it's such a short season. You don't know how the rankings are going to shake out. You might be playing a team that's not ranked that'd be considered an easy win. Later in the season, that team's sneaking towards the top 25, and you drop that one early, and you're looking outside in, and you're not going to the dance, which, if Nebraska can get to the dance, you got to do what you playing in August, come back, get in the lab, 2 more months. I'm excited. I just want to see this team come together. And then I was going to ask Ramel as he's kind of moving around, getting set up here, but I was curious. We're talking about the European offense. The physicality is one thing. Was there anything about the offenses in particular, Ramel, when you're playing over there in Spain, that not necessarily just physicality, but anything else that stuck out about you, about those teams, maybe just the offensive flow of some of those European teams?
Yeah, they didn't play super fast. These teams weren't like exactly real teams. Like, they were kind of guys put together, but they had a couple sets they were running and whatnot. They really just wanted to get it out and shoot threes. It was really only threes and layups. There was really no mid ranges, nothing like that. It was either all the way to the basket or threes. And also the teams were a little bigger than us because we were missing a lot of our bigs. So we had some smaller guys down there trying to fight. So they would definitely try to take advantage of that as well and post any chance they get when they see a mismatch. So they played real smart basketball. These were older guys, pros and whatnot. So they played the game the right way.
Absolutely. One last one before we kind of get off. You're playing against some of those European teams. Is there anything from that trip that you and the whole team took out of that that really stuck with you, that you guys performed well on, or maybe something you guys need to really continue to work on before? As you said, you got 2 months to work on it yet, but something that you got from that trip that said, yeah, let's get in the lab, and we got 2 months to fix this.
Not necessarily. It's hard to tell, especially without having our full team. I think a positive takeaway was that I feel like we had some close games, and we were able to close them out down the stretch. 2 of the games, like the first 2 games, were really close down the stretch. The first game went to overtime. The second game went down to the wire, and we were able to pull through it and close it out. So I think that was a big takeaway of us being able to close out games at an early stage.
Yeah, absolutely. closing out games, both of you guys can kind of talk on this, but is that something you almost have to learn? It seems like because you watch sports like Nebraska football, you can go across the board, Nebraska basketball, there's just always been moments where you're in position over and over again. And I don't know if it's just because you're used to losing, not that you're trying to be,
Right.
but you just can't ever get over the hump to close those games out.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is just like teams get anxious when they don't have a track record of finishing those games.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I don't think you just kind of fall into that situation where you've lost. If you lose it 2 or 3 down the stretch, that when you actually have a chance to finish those games, you start to get anxious because you're playing not to lose now, right? You're scared of those results that happened before, so it's not a natural flow. But in the other terms, if you won those 2 or 3 games, then it's not even a conscious thing on your mind. You're just playing basketball now, So it just matters which way the ball bounced for you down the stretch for those couple of games. Hopefully you have some success. When you have success, you don't think about failure. When you fail, you think about not failing again.
Yeah, absolutely. I do hope, and that's what I'm excited for. I think that's why it's really important just to kind of, it's not like it's a bust of a season if you come out the gate slow, but I think it just does so much for the team's momentum. If you can just come out, start winning those games, and like you said, that doubt never even creeps in your head.
Don't even come in. It's just like a scorer or a shooter. If you come out and you hit your first 3 of the night, you like, oh, it's going to be a long night for my opponents. You feel good about yourself. But if you come out and you go 0 for 4 in the first quarter, not saying that you can't recover it, but it is a different mindset in how you recover and how you finish that game out. Do you agree, Mel?
Yes, definitely.
I know you, because if he shoot his first 3, he think he Michael Jordan after that. I already know. If he makes them,
I always say that I'm one of the biggest advocates of this. At this high level, I feel like everybody can hoop, everybody can do their thing, but confidence and opportunity are the biggest things. Like, you have confidence in your ability, you go anywhere with that, especially if you have the talent already. So
yeah, and opportunity, like you said, that's a key one as well.
You see that a lot for a lot of these players that head to the NBA, even just college level. NBA, it's smaller pool even yet. Just so much turnover in the league because there's so many talented players.
Many talented players in the world.
Carmelo Anthony and just not being on a roster forever. Like it's not like he can't play. It's just we can get this young guy in here. Maybe he's got a higher ceiling. It's just the amount of turnover.
Get more time. It's a business,
absolutely.
Even though Carmelo is obviously way more than capable of playing in the NBA today and still playing at a high level, the fact of the matter is that it's a business. So you want to get as much time as you can out of these younger guys. They maybe have another 10 to 12 years ahead of them.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, why would I give Carmelo these minutes unless he's on a veteran team that's trying to win right away and don't care about that?
Like Trailblazers is where he got a shot.
Right.
Because exactly what you described.
Right? He's just trying to win. But I think Carmelo's thing is a little bit deeper too than just his ability to play in the young kids. We have to go on that.
Yeah, that's another one. We have to save that maybe for another day.
Yeah, we get that another day because I think we can go off on a whole show on that one.
But that being said, though, we do got to go ahead and go to our first break. But again, we do got Ramel Lloyd Jr. in here, and he's talking about his trip from Spain. Ramel Lloyd Sr., as always, put in your questions at 402-464-5685. That is the Starter Heyman text line, or you can comment on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, or Allo Channel 951. Great way to put a face to the voice. But with that being said, we'll go ahead and throw it to break. This is Lloyds in Lincoln. I'm Harrison. That's Ramel Lloyd Jr. and Sr. And we'll catch you guys on the other side.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havilah. This week's specials through August 15th are $2 off packaged grass-fed, grass-finished New York strip with limit of 2 per visit. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, big news, they have 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
When you're high, you feel different. Think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, call 988 for free, confidential, and compassionate support. On July 16th, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is transitioning to 988. There is hope. For 24/7 support, call, text, or chat 988.
Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
My early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take, but it gave my mom and me more time to plan together.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Lloyds in Lincoln with your hosts, Ramel Lloyd Sr. and Ramel Lloyd Jr.
All right, welcome back to Lloyds in Lincoln. I am Harrison Arns on the one. We got Ramel Lloyd streaming in, Ramel Lloyd Sr. in studio as always. Really been holding it down for the past few weeks.
Oh, man. Yeah, I know. I need a pay break. Pay bump over here, man.
And again, if you guys want to join the show, Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685, as well as we're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo channel 951. But, you know, again, if you guys want to ask about the trip, obviously they had the trip over in Spain, got some European ball played over there, and we have some questions about that. And again, go to ticketfm.com in case you missed any of it. We'll have those podcasts up later, and plenty of good stuff from all the Sunday shows. But we got 2 segments left. We still got plenty of things to talk about. Ramel Lloyd Sr., I'll throw it to you, the host, on where you want to go with it next.
Yeah. Oh, you made it back, huh? You didn't take a nap or fall asleep or nothing?
No, I was just finishing packing a little bit.
Oh, I was just texting. Okay, you packing. So I was just texting you. Get back on, man. But anyway, we was talking about your Spain trip. You know, you touched on a little bit about the basketball, the travel, foods. How was the hotels and, you know, just what was different from, being in the and being here.
Very different. The hotels, the rooms were very small. So we all, when we got our room, we all thought that we got like a 1-bedroom room at first. But come to find out, the beds, there was just 2 little beds put together in a tiny box room. And that was how it was supposed to be. We were all confused. So the beds were like 2 baby twin beds. And they were like put together. Everybody like trying to move their beds from each other and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then the elevator, super small for some reason. Showers were a little weird. Everything was a little weird. And then you got the little power adapter thing.
Yeah.
You put your plug in. You got to get that. It was a lot.
Different voltage over there. Different voltage. And those bathrooms, like the shower, is like the whole floor is like the shower, right? Like,
yes. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean, Harrison? Like
No.
when you walk in the bathroom, there's like a drain on,
Yeah.
on the floor, and that's the floor that you're walking on. There's not a separate space for a shower or a bathtub. So when you shower, you're essentially wetting the whole
So
bathroom.
your
floor.
shower floor is the bathroom.
Is the
floor.
bathroom floor? Yeah.
I didn't know. That's the thing.
So you just grab the shower head and you shower, and it's just
Just spray it everywhere.
and it just goes down the drain. There's no shower, no bath. Everything is like minimal there. It's small and
That's a culture shock for me. I wouldn't think about it. What was what you got any other big culture shocks, Ramel Lloyd Jr. when you're down there that really surprised you?
I wouldn't say it surprised me, but the McDonald's, they didn't have sweet and sour sauce, and that kind of like they didn't have the what's the little, they didn't have no McGriddles, they didn't have sweet and sour sauce, like, and then it tastes, the food, like the McDonald's tastes weird out there. I don't know what it was like they
I
didn't.
told you what it was. You living in the States, and they feed us all kind of poison to make sure the food tastes good. And you go in Europe, and half the stuff that we eat there is actually bad.
Yeah, they need to bring that. They need to bring that to Spain.
Yeah, the food is way different. The stuff that we're allowed to eat here is a lot different than what they're allowed to eat in other countries.
It's a nice way to say it.
Yeah, I'm trying to say it.
Yep.
I don't want nobody chasing me down. But yeah, that's what it is. So our stuff tastes good, and we got. I bet there was no supersized stuff either over there. You have supersized or larges. Like they don't do like, how we used to have supersized at McDonald's. You remember that? You could supersize it. Like they don't do that.
They don't supersize it. You're not going to drive and you're not going to be in Spain and see a Buc-ee's, store to gas station.
All the big gulps and stuff.
Yeah.
Like they don't
I got something else too. There's no drive-throughs out there.
No drive-throughs. Yeah.
Like the McDonald's was like a restaurant.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it a lot of them though? Because McDonald's is all over the world. They like one of the only American restaurants. You can go to any country in the world, you're gonna find a McDonald's.
Yeah, there was Popeyes, Burger King, Five Guys. I had Five Guys a couple times.
Oh, nice.
What about Wendy's?
I don't remember a Wendy's.
Burger King is actually pretty popular in a lot of countries as well. Like, like
I can see that.
Yeah, Burger King is really popular in a lot of countries.
Let's make a little comeback here in the U.S.
Oh, they had Starbucks too.
Starbucks.
I could see Starbucks going. Coffee's like a new thing. I feel like nowadays you don't like kids love coffee now. If you go back, I mean, you could talk about this when you were growing up, where kids hanging out in coffee shops.
Coffee, yeah, well, it's more like a local. It's like a hangout spot now. Like
yeah, now it's like go to Starbucks, you kind of feel like an adult. It's got your name on there.
I just drank hot chocolate from there, so I'm still like a kid, I guess. I don't like coffee at all, but yeah, a lot of differences, man. A lot of fun things. Anything over there in Europe that when you came home and you touched ground on U.S. soil, you said, "Whew, I'm so happy to be home, so I can do this."
No, not necessarily. Especially since it was more of. What's funny, it was more of because I knew I was coming home and then leaving straight to the West Coast. So it was more of I can't wait to get to the West Coast and eat In-N-Out.
Oh, okay, all right. Oh, well, good. Since you mentioned it, that was our next topic. Let's go on and talk about that. First of all, let's start off. You guys had a little bit of difficulties traveling, getting back stateside. So tell us about that, about your travels, and then also tell us, where you're at now and how that whole thing ended up.
Yeah, so on the way back from Barcelona, we flew out of Barcelona back to, I believe, Philadelphia.
Philly, yeah, Philly.
Right, we have a layover in Philadelphia for like 6 hours again. Then the flight that we're supposed to have to Omaha gets canceled, so we have to fly to. Now we're flying to Charlotte from there, and then we get another layover in Charlotte. So we're in Charlotte. We have to stay overnight in Charlotte for like 10 hours, and we
In the
finally fly to Chicago from Charlotte. We're supposed to get back the night before at like 11. We wound up getting back at like 10 a.m. the next day because we flew from Charlotte to Chicago and then a 1 hour layover in Chicago and then finally to Lincoln, or not Lincoln, but Omaha.
Omaha, yeah. That was a crazy trip going back. I've been on those trips, man, coming home from jobs and playing where I was stuck in countries, stuck in cities, and that overseas travel sometimes is you got to fly so far away and so many different flights. There's just more opportunity for things to happen, cancel flights, weather, et cetera, et cetera. So I know those feelings. I've stepped in the airport before myself, trying to get back home. So obviously you made it back stateside, and obviously you're not here in the studio. So where the hell are you?
Yeah. So I got back the day we got back to Omaha. I had a flight leaving like 2 hours later to Arizona. Couple of my old teammates are out here from high school, so I just been chilling with them. We played a little bit last night. We went to the rec and messed around a little bit, but we just been having some fun. I'm about to leave probably in the next 5 minutes to go to the airport right now to go catch my flight to California. So just having a little, having a little time to myself and away from everything before we get started with school and back to practice. So just enjoying life a little bit.
I hear that. I mean, that's totally different from when I was in college. I can tell you that much. To be able to travel like that, to be all over the place, and have the time and means to do that. Actually, we had the time because we didn't touch. We weren't allowed to touch a basketball or anything until October 15th when I played.
Because of the rules and regulations.
Because the rules were different. But I'm happy that you are traveling and doing that. So I always tell you to make sure that you live your life and understand that basketball is a huge part of your life, but it's what you do. It's not who you are, and you have to continue to experience life outside of basketball, and especially family. This show is great for us. It's Lloyds in Lincoln, and we are such a family oriented group that your grandmother and your sisters are, I'm pretty sure they're extremely happy. They're gonna he's gonna be in LA for a couple days and hanging out with them at home. So I'm happy for that you got a chance to do that. So see, grandma was up straightening up your room at the house.
Yeah.
I heard, I was talking to your sister last night, and I hear your grandmother banging on the walls. I don't know. I guess she's hanging up some pictures or something. We call my mom Bob the Builder because she's always.
Oh, you got a handyman?
Yeah, she's pretty like a handyman, right? She builds all her stuff and she's in there decorating. Yeah, so
that's incredible. Kudos to her for getting that done.
It's just funny to us because it's like an inside joke. We call her Bob the Builder, but she's really talented with it, man. I mean, she decorates all our houses and stuff. So I know she's excited about him coming home, and I'm excited too. What else you gonna do? Are you gonna do any basketball stuff while you're in LA?
Yeah, I might. I was talking to my big sister. I might let Taylor work me out.
Coach T.
Coach T, we can go to Fullerton College and get a little workout in. I was telling her, she said she was going to put me through some things.
Man, I would pay to see that. I would pay to see that because she probably gonna sound like me, with fighting with you and stuff. I had to fight with these kids so much in their workouts and growing up, and it's so funny because now they turn into me, the same things that I've been fighting with them about. Now, if I see him coach some little kids, I hear him telling them the same stuff, and I'm pretty sure Taylor gonna be on your butt. Taylor doesn't play.
I get annoyed by the same stuff you get annoyed by too.
Exactly. The stuff that you used to do, by the way. Go drive me crazy. But so you getting ready to head out to the airport there, son?
Yeah, do we have to throw it the break here? I just don't want to hold you up.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go on the break. Let's let him get on this flight, and we'll be right back.
Butchery by Venue is Lincoln's premier specialty grocers. Take the quality of venue home with you with our hand-cut steaks, handcrafted burgers, and locally sourced offerings. Browse our wide selection of specialty products designed to enhance your dining experiences with cheeses, spices, sauces, and more. We also have an exclusive collection of liquors, whiskeys, and bourbons at prices you're sure to love. Stop in to the Butchery by Venue today, located in our Venue at Home storefront at 70th and Pioneers, just 2 doors down from Venue Restaurant and Lounge.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all.
There is hope. For 24/7 support, call, text, or chat 988.
Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids. First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse. Beep, beep, beep. Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
The Ticket Water Cooler.
There were a lot of situations where all you needed was that kind of 2-minute drill.
That was it.
Nebraska never was able, under Scott Frost, really get one of those things going. The 2-minute drill and the ability to move productively, move the ball, has been a complete failure for Nebraska over the last few years. I think a big part of being successful in that is having a quarterback that can move. And we know Jeff Sims can move. Probably bail you out of a lot of situations.
This is how we do every day. We grinding, and if you want to come and take them.
If you love them enough to turn on your music and pretend like their music is your music,
this is Mommy's jam.
then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jackmick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is "My job is people, everyone is my business." But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jackmick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
How was your drive to school?
Let me tell you, I had to get my iced coffee first. I just can't seem to put it down. My favorite rapper just announced a tour. My phone was buzzing like crazy. I'm so excited. I had to text all my friends right then to talk about it. Then someone started calling me and...
Let's try that again.
I turned my phone off right away. I never drive distracted.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You're listening to Lloyds in Lincoln with your hosts, Ramel Lloyd Sr. and Ramel Lloyd Jr.
All right, welcome back to Lloyds in Lincoln. No more Ramel Lloyd Jr. He had to catch a flight, so we let go of him. No worries. Obviously, he's doing.
He's in the car. Do I see him right there?
He just hopped out.
Cut off. Yeah, he cut off.
He got the green light to head out of here, and he's like, "All right."
I look like he was in an Uber or something. Look, that's a dedicated man.
I know. I wasn't going to keep him on, but he was willing to do a radio show in the back of his Uber.
Hey, I like that. That means you're willing to do what you got to do to make sure we get the job done.
Absolutely. And we're going to talk about these conferences getting shaken up here in the Big Ten. So, again, if you guys want to join the show, we're going to talk about it on the basketball end, but obviously it affects all sports. So, again, Sartor Heyman text line 402-464-5685, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Allo, channel 951. Great way to put a face to the voice and join the show. And also go to ticketfm.com for any of the podcast or shows you missed. But, first of all, I didn't see any of this happening this fast. I saw UCLA and USC. That was in the water for a while. Still a big splash. And then you get Oregon and Washington to follow. The Pac-12's down to 4 teams, just limping along. It's pretty much dead at this point. Heading into the Super Conference era, Big 12, Big 10, SEC.
That's crazy.
ACC is kind of limping along right now as well. But
that's kind of really close to us because I got some stories. During going back to Ramel's recruiting process, and of course, being a West Coast kid, growing up in the West Coast. The Pac-12 is just, it's a power conference, right? Everybody on the West Coast want to get to one of those schools. And it was just funny how it's working out now because during Ramel's recruiting process, we always kind of do things our own way. We don't follow people. We don't, necessarily follow trends per se, right? We kind of evaluate things, and we've been known to kind of go against the grain a little bit with what we do. Right. And this whole conference thing is crazy because, we were very much heavily involved with mostly all the schools in the Pac-12 during his process. In particular, the schools that's coming over is USC. He's had offers since his sophomore year from USC, Oregon, and Washington.
Now Big Ten.
Yeah.
Well, not now, but soon to be.
Well, coming to be the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And, and we were in LA. And people always look like when they hear Nebraska and they hear that that Ramel went to Nebraska in the Big Ten. I don't think it was much of a favorite choice for a lot of people on the West Coast. With their judgments or, man, what are you doing? You're going to the Big Ten. Why would you go in the middle of the country? And so on and so forth. So we had all of this pushback from Ramel going to, first of all, the Big Ten Conference because the style of play is so different than what people on the West Coast are used to, right? So they're used to a little bit more run and gun, a little bit more free offense, not as physical, not as many big men, it's not an inside-outside, it's a guard conference. So first of all, people looked at me crazy and looked at us and said, well, why would you go there with Ramel and his skills? Why would you play in the Big Ten? And now I just want to say that that maybe the old man and the Lloyds know what they're doing a little bit over here. It's kind of funny that now their beloved UCLA, USC, and Oregon, and also Washington is now joining the Big Ten. So,
you guys. It looks like your hindsight's 2020, but you guys nailed it on that one.
That's actually pretty funny to me.
That's like you guys looking into the crystal ball.
It's pretty funny to me.
Like the odds of that happening.
Yeah, I didn't think that would happen. Like I said, we were very much heavily involved with those schools. I know the coaches very well. We went on visits. We actually went to, he grew up right in LA, so we've been to USC games like thousands of times. UCLA, same thing. Been there a bunch of times. Washington, I went to visit when I was working as a recruiter for an agency, and we visited Oregon. We were very close to going to Oregon as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool, and I'm gonna go play those guys.
Well, yeah, it gives Ramel a chance to go home, to be seen, at his hometown and play in front of the home fans. So we got to play UCLA and USC next year, which is great. I mean, we all get to go home and see people and play where he grew up at. Oregon, I don't know how they're going to do the schedule and everything, but beautiful place, facilities. Washington, close to the coaching staff up there. So yeah, it's fun. I just like the way it worked out because a lot of people be looking at me like I'm crazy. Don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you're going away from the conference. And now the conference is all.
Yeah, now the conference is coming over here. So, So how about that? So now Nebraska, which was the furthest team west,
Yep,
in the
which was
conference,
insane,
right? Which is crazy, right?
Yeah.
It was the furthest team west, and it's dead in the middle of the country. So how is that going to work? Like, is UCLA going to have to go? They got to go play Penn State. They got to go play Rutgers. They got to play Maryland.
That's what I fear for.
Right?
I fear for the teams that are on the West Coast.
Are they ever going to be in school?
You got Rutgers Monday,
Yeah.
but you got your test Tuesday.
How's that going to work? So
There is some of this that I feel like everyone kind of always talks about the football aspect, and it's like, hey, some of these teams, like funding wise too. Is it in the budget to send your bowling team all the way to Rutgers, and you got to send them on
because we don't think
plane.
about those sports.
No, you just
We're
think about the
thinking of
money
big sports, right?
Yeah.
Obviously they got the money to do it.
Now, if you're not a big football
Haven't even
program
think
and you're
about
not making a ton of, like Nebraska makes money with their football program, we can afford to send some of our less making sports on,
Right.
because they deserve it. We have the money to do so, but some of those football programs, they don't bring in as much money.
I haven't even thought about that because
Yeah.
it's funny to me. I'm such a basketball guy. Those main sports, you see them all the time. When you think of sports and you think of schools moving from conference to conference, you just think about football and basketball because those are the most visible. Those are the ones that makes the most money. But yeah, you're right. What about all those other
that Big
sports?
Ten check? I mean, again, the Big Ten check must have a big enough number where they're like, hey, we can make this work. But man, that's so much traveling. I think it's interesting. I'm not saying it's good or bad yet. I just think this is probably always going to happen with the conference realignment.
Yeah. Well, I can go much deeper in this, but I'm not at liberty to say. I won't say. I'm going to stay in my lane on this one, but I kind of got a feel of what's going on with the whole conference thing, Big Ten, and schools from because it's not geographical no more. Right. So it's not about that.
It's not even close to being it. I mean, maybe if you look at the SEC
That's
versus
over.
the rest of the country,
that's going to be done. So
yeah,
that geographical thing is going to be done. And then we're going to just start creeping into something that I'm not going to comment on anymore.
I'll have to get that.
Yeah, we'll get off the air and we'll say what our opinions are. But
we still got a few more minutes here. So just before we go, I am curious though. Just the Big Ten overall, though. One thing this does is basketball in the Big Ten. I mean, that's going to be a real threat now. You're throwing UCLA, USC, Oregon. I mean, Oregon is a little bit up and down, but I think they're still 21-15 overall last year.
Yeah, Oregon is always going to be good. They seem like they always struggle a little bit early in the season, but it seems like they always get better at the end. And by the time it's NCAA time, they nobody wants to play them.
Yeah.
So they're always dangerous later on in the season.
I'm curious as what this does for some of the programs like Nebraska, and now it's like you're getting more competition. You got to get going. You weren't able to do it before, and now it's only getting stronger. So hopefully it's got iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing for college basketball and for the Big Ten, especially for Nebraska. I mean, to be able to play these nationally recognized schools in the sport, all it does is provide opportunity. Right? It's opportunity. Like you can't look back, like we was talking earlier about how you feel when you're getting in crunch time when you lost those couple games. Like we can't start thinking like that. Now we're on defense mechanism. We got to start thinking positive moving forward, saying, hey, we have an opportunity to knock UCLA off at Poly Pavilion, right? Instead of saying, oh, we got to go. No, it's like that's a great opportunity for us. We can get at the Galen Center and we can knock off USC. You got that opportunity to play these teams and at their schools and make a big statement for not only the University of Nebraska but for the Big Ten as well.
Yeah, and then again, and it's kind of crazy because you look at how the March Madness plays out every year, and it's always a ton of Big Ten teams. There's always, I think this year we had the most out of any conference, Power 5 conference, make it in there. And furthest one that went was Michigan State, unfortunately. But I mean, the conference is going to get stronger again, and I'm really just hoping that one of these times we can get some teams to actually win it.
Yeah,
I've never understood that with the Big Ten. If it's just a style thing.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. What going out to these schools joining
different styles,
it's going to help the Big Ten in the NCAA tournament as well, because the Big Ten is a great conference, super physical, and everyone plays to a similar style. So the Big Ten schools and teams, they're built to compete in the Big Ten, right? But you can go to a smaller conference or a conference that plays faster ball or shoots more threes, and they can beat any Big Ten team on a one-off.
Peacocks, we saw
right?
that.
Yeah, on a one-off night. If they shooting that ball right, or the offense is going right, a Big Ten team may not be equipped to play that style of play, right? But if you take that same team and you put them in the Big Ten conference where they're playing Big Ten teams constantly over and over and over again, their results will be a lot different, right? Because Big Ten teams, they beat up on each other all year in conference, and then they got to go play in NCAA, a different style. So now playing against the UCLA, playing against Oregon and Washington, it's going to diversify the league, and I think we'll see more success in the NCAA.
Yeah, I'm with you on there. I think it's a good thing for the conference overall in terms of basketball. I think it is going to be a case of iron sharpens iron. I think I'm hoping that some of those styles blend, we can get over that hump, because I think that's always been the problem. I think Purdue's always been a pretty shining example of, for some reason, that Big Ten style just seems to hit a wall. Michigan State's been the most successful lately, but again, we'll see. I'm super excited to see it. Nebraska basketball season coming up, only a couple months away. This has been Lloyds in Lincoln. I'm Harrison. We had Ramel Lloyd Jr. on earlier. Go to ticketfm.com to catch the full show. And again, we got The Breeze up next with DP and Haas. And appreciate you guys listening. Join us next Sunday.
That's right.